everyone, welcome to Business Today Television, India Today Group. I'm Karishma on ground in Udaipur. I'm not here to talk about the green lush fields of this beautiful scenic city, but here to introduce my new friend, which is the Curvv.EV SUV Coupe. Joining me is Vivek Srivatsa of Tata Motors, that is the EV division, to talk more about this. Vivek, thank you and welcome. Thank you for having us here.
My pleasure, our pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, tell me a bit about the product, especially in its design and pricing.
Yeah. So the product is our first entry into the mid SUV category, and for people who need some explanation, it's the largest category in the automotive industry now. We didn't have a product here for the longest time, and Curvv is our first entry into a huge category, which is about 16% of the industry. We've launched the EV first. Very soon we'll launch the ICE in terms of announcing the price. The EV is on the pure EV architecture. We call it active. So it allows us to really explore the limits of the battery sizes and tech features, safety features, etc. So, and of course, the price. We wanted to make a big statement, in terms of EV adoption. There are three big hurdles in consumers' mind. One is the range. This comes with 55 kilowatt, 585 certified range, 400 to 425 real world range, what we call as C75. Second hurdle in people's mind is the charging speeds.
Right.
This comes with what we call as 1.2C charging speed. It delivers 150 kilometers in 15 minutes of charge. And third, the biggest hurdle has been price. With the pricing of 17.49, we bought it actually on par with ICE vehicles.
Yeah.
So we believe this will be a seminal moment in India's EV adoption, journey.
Right. Now, during the launch, you have mentioned that it is going to come in different powertrains soon. How would this be a challenge, or how difficult it is going to be for you when you see it competing with the other products?
Yeah. And it's not a challenge. I think it's a very wholesome entry we've made. Yes, it comes with two different battery sizes on EV, but on ICE as well, we come with three different powertrains. We have two options of petrol and a diesel. We have manual transmissions. We have dual clutch transmissions as well. And like I said, the mid SUV is a very large category with a very wide price band as well. It starts around 10 lakhs, goes well beyond 22, 23 lakhs. And that means the kind of customers who buy it are very, very different. They want a similar kind of a car, but the kind of spec they want is very different, very wide. And when we enter into it as probably the 10th or 11th player, we have to come with a very comprehensive package. So I don't see it as a challenge. I think it's an advantage for us to come with a very comprehensive package. Yeah.
Got it. Now, Vivek, if we talk a bit about the trend that is emerging, it's mostly of the decline in EVs because of a lot of consumers are moving back to ICE. Now, amidst this sentimental change, how do you see Curvv making a move in the market?
Firstly, I'll challenge that. I don't think EVs are growing. If you look at personal EV registrations, which is the Vahan data, the numbers are growing marginally, or at best maybe flat for 1 or 2 months. The number you're seeing as degrowth is wholesale numbers, and also a lot of that is affected by the fleet numbers.
Right.
FAME subsidy, FAME 2 subsidy ceased to exist end of March.
Yeah.
After that, the government has not
extended yet.
That means the entire fleet operation, which used to contribute about 20% of volumes on EV, has not been firing in the last 3 months. And I'm sure all the fleet operators, and we are very much in close touch with them. They are waiting for FAME 3 to come in, and I can tell you, as soon as FAME 3 is announced, you're going to see a big surge of volume. On the personal side, I think we need disruptive products, disruptive pricing to really activate the market, and a product like Curvv, I'm sure, will provide a lot of growth to the personal category. Also, this data that you say that a lot of people want to shift back. I don't want to comment about this kind of small data. We went through the study actually. If you look at the sample size, it's minuscule, and it's very skewed data. I'll give you some data from our side. When we speak to our own customers, and we have more than 1.6 lakh customers, up to 40% of our customers have stopped using ICE. They have only EV at home. More than 80% of customers are waiting to upgrade to a larger EV. So data is very different, and I think we should look at personal users as the benchmark in terms of where they want to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said disruptive price, disruptive product. Tell me, was this a cautious decision or a conscious decision with the design that you have introduced?
It
A
was
coupe.
very much a conscious decision. I mean, Tata Motors, if you look at what we have done from the time we have come into the market, starting with the original Estate, the Sierra, we've always, been design forward. We have tried to give the Indian consumer something very different, but at the same time, a lot of value in it. I don't want to go back to all the brand names, but if you go recently, right from the launch of the first mainstream EV product, which is the Nexon in 2020, we launched India's first dual cylinder, CNG. People always felt that CNG can't give you boot space, but we broke that norm. With the Punch, we created a small SUV category, which is now the largest selling car in India this fiscal. So I think giving differentiated offerings, but at the same time adding a lot of value to Indian consumer has been our DNA. This is the same direction. When you come into a big category, and like I said, we are going to be the 10th or 11th player. We need to give customers which is something which is different, but still tick mark all the fundamental needs. So mid SUV consumers need a lot of luxury features, different options of powertrain. All that is delivered, but SUV coupe design is usually seen in premium brands. And even in premium brands, the coupe design, coupe cars cost more than the normal cars.
Right.
So it's a premium design, and we wanted to democratize it. And I mean, if you look at practicality, it offers the best boot space in its category. 500 liters of boot space. You fold the seats down, it is close to 970 liters of boot space. So a lot of practicality, a lot of features, but still a lot of style for the customer.
Great. You did talk about the growth of EVs in India, contradicting the statement that I have given you. I don't want to jump the guns, but do you have any percentage in your mind? Are you anticipating a particular specific number of sales that could go through for Curvv?
Yeah, so we internally have a target of 30% of our sales volume come from EV by 2030.
Okay.
Currently, we are at about 12 or 13%. And maybe in the next 5 years, we want to reach 30%. There's very likelihood that we might even go beyond that. So we are looking more as how much of sale within our company comes out of EV.
Okay.
But if you really look at products which have EV as well, for example, EV penetration within Nexon, it's much higher than even 12%.
Right.
So we are positive. We'll keep pushing in that direction. We believe that long-term carbon neutral mobility is only from EV, powered by green power sources, and any other deviation is going to only delay that ultimate objective. Yeah.
Great. I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is China, and its numbers and its obsession with EVs. In fact, a latest report, which you will agree to, is that they have about 50% of their sales in the EV business. How far is India when we compare us to China in the EV space?
See, China, there's a very wholesome approach there, where industry, government, all of them work together. The biggest difference between India and China is obviously the charging infrastructure, but also the extremely rapid product development cycles that they have put in place, very much powered by their technology and software orientation from the consumer electronics space. So the fact that China is growing actually is because there's good charging infrastructure, but also the product life cycles are very rapid. Customers have huge choice, and there's a wholesome acceptance of EV as a
product
or mobility solution across. India is behind, but as we all know, India adopts technology very, very fast. We always start a bit slow, and then you have the hockey stick growth. That is bound to happen in India as well. I think that moment of inflection is not far away. In the next 2 years, you will see significant growth in charging infrastructure. There's a lot of work by independent CPOs, which are the startups. Huge work going to happen through the oil marketing companies. Charging speeds are going to go up. Now, you're seeing with the Curvv, we are increased the charging speed. The kind of charging units available on highways are also going to change. Today we talk about 25 kilowatt charger, maybe some places 50 kilowatts, but you'll see in the next 2 years it will change to 60, 100, etc. So what happens is the 10-minute charge might give you 200 kilometers range in the future. So that will completely change. It's exactly same like filling fuel from a petrol bunk. Many of the petrol bunks will also have chargers there, so customers don't need to really think where can I charge the car. You will have apps available which will tell you exactly where you can charge, which which charging bank you can go to. So it's just going to become a lot more digital, a lot more easier. Charging, the car ranges will go up. So I think India is on the verge of an inflection point. It's about when that comes in, and I'm sure we'll catch up with China pretty soon. I would say, like we have caught up in other areas of tech.
Yeah.
I mean, the most popular known thing is in mobile phones. We were lagging. Now, every Indian has a mobile phone. So it's going to go in that direction very soon.
Okay. One quick question on this is the fact that Chinese EVs are suffering a bit of challenge in the US and Europe, and that's mostly because of the increased tariffs. Are you concerned of the fact that India could become a dumping ground for Chinese EVs?
I don't see it happening because I think the government has been fairly cautious about that. While they are selectively allowing technology to come in, I don't see a possibility where products can be dumped because firstly the taxation norms are going to be different, the kind of monitoring of products coming in will be different, but also our norms in terms of pollution and other areas are very, very different. So I don't see that being a possibility at all in India. And more importantly, with the government's focus on Make in India and the PLI incentives strongly promoting local manufacture, I don't see that kind of scenario being played out here.
Okay, so keeping China aside, we are confident of the fact that with our domestic production, we'll be able to ramp up and compete in the EV space well enough to kind of be parallel to China.
Definitely. I think, today, again, I look at other tech products where we are really ramping up our production. And production is not just assembly, we are developing supply chain both in front and at the back in terms of vertical integration, horizontal integration. That's going to happen in EVs as well. We are looking at many companies getting into the space in terms of battery manufacturing, in terms of software, component manufacturing, and of course mainstream EV assembly as well. So we are seeing it happening. It's only a matter of time before the volumes catch up, and we'll see that play out.
Okay, thank you very much, Vivek, for talking to us. I'm going to end this interview by asking you one simple question. Does it stop with the Curvv?
Not at all. We will soon. We've announced that we'll have the Harrier.ev coming in, which will again be a landmark car, the kind of performance it offers. We've also showcased the Sierra for the future. I won't be able to give a timeline. So our EV product portfolio will expand very strongly in the future.
And goes beyond 2030.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
My pleasure. Yeah.